Hey, what's going on, guys? Paramo back here, bringing you the new video for the channel, which is going to be answering a lot of your guys' questions that you have on my UI, as this is my UI tutorial. I'm going to apologize in advance for any additional background noise that you hear, as my cats are pretty loud right now, so I'm sorry if that interferes with you performing this and listening to the video. So the first thing that you guys notice about my UI is it's not a Blizzard UI. It's an add-on called ElvUI. To get ElvUI, you're gonna open up a Internet Explorer or Google Chrome or a web browser in general. You're going to go to tuckui.org and it's going to bring you to this screen. Once you reach the screen, you're going to enter the site. After this, you're going to mouse over the UI's option at the top left hand corner, mouse over the ElvUI option, and select download. You're going to be brought to this screen, and just know that you don't need the TuckUI add-on or window client. If you have Curse client already, Curse is good enough. All you're here for is ElvUI. So you're going to select download, and it's going to download ElvUI in a zip file. You're going to open the zip file with whichever means you have possible and keep it open. After that, you're going to close your web browser and you're going to open up your add-ons folder in your World of Warcraft folder, basically. So to do that, you're going to go to the World of Warcraft icon. You're going to select properties. You're going to go to open your file location, and it's going to bring you to this menu. Now, if you don't have the option to do that because you don't have the World of Warcraft icon there, you're going to open up another file explorer. You're going to select your Windows operating system drive. Mine is my C drive. I have a storage drive, which is my P drive. You're going to go to Program Files x86, scroll down to World of Warcraft, select Interface, and go to your add-ons menu. The same thing with the other method, Interface, add-ons. Now, with your downloaded ElvUI folder still open, you're going to drag and drop it into your add-ons folder. I'm not going to do that as I already have ElvUI, as you can see right there. The next thing a lot of you guys ask is, what combat text am I using and how to get it? In order to do this, you're going to want to keep your add-ons folder open, and you're going to want to select ElvUI, not ElvUI_config. So we're going to select ElvUI, and then we're going to go to Media, selecting the media. The next thing you're going to want to do is find the text named Pepsi. So we're going to want to google.com. You're going to look up Pepsi font. As you can see, I've already done there. Oops, wrong one. Pepsi font. Then you're going to choose any .ttf file to download. I usually go with the first one. We're going to download it, and you can rename it to whichever you want. After you rename it, we'll rename mine to what I have it downloaded as. Oops. Okay, I can't. Oh, that's right. In order to rename it, you have to extract it first. So you can extract it whichever way you want, to your desktop or to another folder. Let's rename this now, and we're going to rename it to Pepsi. After that, you're going to open up your fonts tab and drag and drop it into your fonts tab. As you can see, I already have my renamed Pepsi right there. And that's what all of your text will look like. The only thing that doesn't show up as proper text is exclamation points. Your exclamation point will actually show up as a Pepsi symbol, so the Pepsi icon. After you're done with that, this is the most important step in order to get this to work. A lot of people skip this and end up screwing themselves over and wondering why it doesn't work. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to open up the shared media Lua file with a text editor. I use Notepad++ as it puts everything in different lines, where a different text editor, say like Notepad, is going to open it up like so, which is very confusing and hard to work with. But if you can work with it, then all the power to you. You can do it that way. When you're in the text editor, you're going to copy a previous LSM registry. So we can copy over the continuum medium.tff, and then you're just going to paste it wherever you'd like. You typically at the bottom is where people do it. I like to do it in between to keep everything organized where the fonts are. And then you're just going to replace the name of the copied file with the name of the file to the Pepsi .tetf file. So I copied lsm : register, open parentheses, open quote, font, close quote, comma, space, open quote, put the file name to the Pepsi font, close quote, comma, open double bracket, interface, /addons, /lvi, /media, /font, /file name to the Pepsi font .ttf, close double bracket, close parentheses, and you can see all of that performed in this highlighted row right here. When you're done with that, you can go ahead and close out all of your add-on windows and all the file windows, and then we can finally get in game, and I can show you guys all of the add-ons I use in game and how to set up your LVUI to look just like mine. I will see you guys in game. Alright, now that we're in game, I can show you guys the active add-ons that I use while I play the game. So the first thing to do that is we're going to go to the add-ons in the bottom left hand corner. As you can see, I have a lot of add-ons turned off, but the main ones that I do use are Auctionator to make, as you can see, buying and posting auctions easier. Band-Aid is that circle that you see for the radar on my UI, but Blizzard plans on breaking it, so you can either use it now while it works or just get rid of it completely because you won't be able to use it in the near future. I use Click to bind my keys for my healing, and it just makes life easier. You're actually 0.3 milliseconds faster than somebody that uses mouse over macros, and every millisecond counts in progression rating and parsing. And then I use details as my damage and healing meters, and what this allows me to do is details has additional plugins that allows you to check people's performance and compare it to other people that are outperforming them in the same spec. So it really helps optimize your raid and help your team leads or class leads mold other players if they don't have the add-on and can't do on-the-fly things if they're not currently live logging to Warcraft logs. Next, I use Exorcist Raid Tools, which is just a raid tool that it's basically a raid tool for everything. They plan on breaking some of the features in Exorcist Raid Tools, but you should still have it just in case they come out with newer things for it to help your progression rating a little easier. Then I use Handy Notes with the Legion plugin to find all the rares and treasures. And then I have the add-on Looking for Satchels, and what this does, it notifies me when a satchel is available for tanks, healing, or DPS, because that has happened in Warlords of Draenor. When I was a Death Knight, I did get a lot of satchels to DPS. And it notifies you with an option on your screen. Usually mine pops up right here, and sometimes you'll see in my live stream that it asks me, hey, yes or no for looking for group for satchels. And most of the time I'll say yes because I need the artifact power. The next thing I use is Pawn, and what it does is you can manually enter your class stat weights for your spec, or you can use the pre-made stat weights that come with Pawn to see if an item is an upgrade. And this goes from level 100 all the way to whatever the end raid content is. The only thing that you have to do with this add-on is continuously update your stat weights to what you want them to be or to what all the theory crafters say you should have it. Next, I use Postal for easy mailbox support. So I get with one click I can open up all my mail, and I can easily delete the mail without having to open it. Then I use weak auras 2 for different UI options, like my infusion of light thing that pops up in the middle of my screen to let me know, hey, you can use a flash of light and it'll heal for an additional amount. And also for boss encounters, you want to use weak auras 2 strings for boss encounters along with the add-on deadly boss mods. Deadly boss mods is good there for timers, while weak auras there is really good for notifications for things. I used to use Satchel Scanner, but Satchel Scanner has since broken, and I will disable it right now. And then that's it. Then we can finally get in game, and I can show you how to set up your ElvUI in game after you open up the interface. So now that we're in game, the first thing you're going to want to do is type in /ElvUI to open up the interface. On the General tab, this is where you're going to set your combat text to. You're going to want to go to the Media tab, and then combat text font is right here. You're going to want to set it to the font that you just downloaded, which mine is Pepsi. Please do note that once you set this font, even though it says it won't work until you reload the game or it reloads your UI, that is not true. The only way to get it to truly work is to close the game and open it up again. Now, you guys might think this is fishy, and you might think, oh, he made us download something and he's going to steal our account because now we're signing in all over again from scratch. But it's not. I'm not doing that. I thought that was what was going to happen to me when I saw somebody do this, but that's actually the case. Like, you really do need to close your game all the way down, open it back up, and then you can go test it on a dummy, whether it be healing or DPSing. After that, you're going to want to toggle your anchors so you can see where everything is. 90% of the time, your raid frames and your party frames are going to be located where my raid 40 frames are. If that's the case, just bring them wherever you want. You can bring your action bars will be down here at the corner. As you can see, I set my action bar to my bar 2 to above my bar 1, and my bar 3 is below my bar 1. And we'll go further into that as we continue this tutorial. So, like I said, we're going to go over action bars. In this menu, you can enable action bars, which you're going to have to restart your whole UI if you do that. Or you can just keep them enabled, which you should, because, yeah, you need them to fight. And then you can turn off and on which bars you want. Like, I have the menu bar that a lot of people use that has like your character option, your dungeon journal, your guild option and everything. I have it turned on, as you can turned off. As you can see, I just turned it on and it's right over here in the top left, but I prefer it to be turned off because I already know most of the keybinds to them. But if you don't know and you want to keep it hidden, you can just select the mouse over option, and what that does is it'll only show when you mouse over it, just as so. I'll keep it like that too, just in case. You can also decrease, let's take the mouse over. You can decrease how many buttons per row, so you can make it a long one or a short one or many rows. I prefer it to be like this because I mouse over it anyway. And then you can go on to your other bars. You can enable, disable. As you can see, I'm doing there on mine. Enable, disable, and you can keep on doing that for the rest of them. You can also select them to do mouse over. Like my bar 4, it's enabled, but you can't see it. That's because I have it mouse over on the side here, and it allows for a more cleaner look for abilities that you don't use. So like all of my food is here, my mounts and all that good stuff is here. Then I have bar 5 and 6 disabled because I don't really have that many abilities to track or anything like that. And if I did, I would prefer it to be with a weak aura instead of somewhere on my screen. Next is your stance bar. You can enable it if you're a warrior, disable it if you already have it macroed in. And then that's it. You can close that down. The next thing we're going to go over is the unit frames. Now, I recommend turning off all of the unit frames except for player frame, target frame, party frames, raid frames, and only keep these enabled, raid 40 frames, and arena frames, if you PvP a lot. PvP and PvE is kind of one this expansion, so if you're gonna do one, you gotta do the other, because gear, there's no more like PvP centric gear where if you have PvP gear it has resilience, so you won't take as much damage. That's all gone, but disable everything else, and then you can see where they are by once again hitting the toggle frame. The talking head that usually pops up here, like in dungeons and everything, like Darkheart Thicket, you can actually move it up here, which is where I have mine. And it gets out of the way of my of me healing. Before, it used to get in the way when I was running this UI on beta and I didn't move it. After that, you guys might notice that I have a 3D image of my character. I'll show you right there in my, what is it, player frame. In order to do that, you're going to go to LVUI once again. You're going to select your player frame, and in the option here that says health, you're going to want to select the portrait, convert it to 3D, and place it as an overlay, because if you don't place it as an overlay, it's just going to make a little box to the left of your health. That, I think, looks kind of dry, I guess. So to spice it up a little bit, we'll choose overlay, and you can select the width, the camera distance of your characters. You can see like I'm super zoomed in, or you can be super far away, which is how I prefer it. I usually like it to be yeah, around the 4 scale. And the same thing with the target frame. So if I target this player, as you can see, his face or his character frame is in there, and all their class colors are like so. And in order to fix that, or in order to do it once again, you're going to do portrait, 3D, overlay, and then set the distance to whatever you would like it to be. It works on bosses and everything. The boss's face will be in there and everything. And let's go over my action bars a little bit, just in case you guys are wondering more about the action bars. So you go to the action bar. Let's go to bar 2, which is my top bar. You can set it to 12 buttons, or you can have it set to mine, which I think I had it at 8. Yes, I have it at 8. You can set the buttons per row, and you can not set the buttons per row, or just keep it the same. You can select button spacing, which spaces out the buttons, or you can not have button spacing. You can select the button size, which is big, and I forgot what I had these ones at, but we'll see. I think it was that. Yeah, that looks right. And then you can select the height multiplier and all that good stuff. You can select the alpha. What the alpha is, it allows you to select the opacity of the bar, as you can see there, 0 alpha. And there's actually a action ping that allows you to activate it or make it pop up only when in combat, which I think is pretty cool, but I don't have my stuff set up like that. And yeah, you just set up the rest of your bars as how you like. I'm not going to tell you what way to do it, how you should do it, or what I recommend you do, because UIs are all personal preference. This is just how I like my UI. This weak aura, this is a weak aura. It tells you your item level, your ancient mana out of your cap, and it tracks your artifact power. The weak aura can be found on Towley's website, which is www.towley.com, I believe. If not, you can just Google it. I'm pretty sure there's the weak aura string out there somewhere. But that will actually conclude the video, guys. Remember to like and subscribe if you like this video and it helped you and you want more content just like this in the future. Dislike it if you didn't, and comment in the comment section below what you would like my next video to be. I'm thinking of doing a healer guide for all of the mythic dungeons. If that's something you guys are interested in, please let me know and I'll get started on that this week. Also, be sure to check me out on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/PEREMO, and watch some live gameplay. And thanks for watching. Until next time, you guys have a good one.